It's Red Eye Radio. Gary McNamara and Eric Harley talk about everything from politics to social issues and news of the day. Whether you're up late or you're just starting your day, welcome to the show. From the Uniden America Studios, this is Red Eye Radio.
All across America. He's Eric Harley and I'm Gary McNamara. Good morning. Welcome. Well, it's that time of the year.
Yeah?
Yeah, you know, March, spring break, all that. Kids down there on the beaches, which means a lot of conservative influencers and conservative networks down there interviewing to find out how smart kids are, college students are.
Yeah.
It's always fun. And so we've played a bunch of those cuts for you this week. This one came from Jesse Waters. Now, he does the same thing that Bill O'Reilly used to do when Jesse Waters used to ask the questions, remember? He'd go down to the beach and ask a question.
Yeah.
And so they add on, you know, if somebody says something stupid, they'll add on with, a cut in from someone else. So please bear with us. But it's really, every time I hear this is fascinating. Every time I hear something like this, remember this when we get to the next election. And it's a week before the election, and we all say, how can anybody possibly be undecided? It's impossible. You can't be undecided. It's so crystal clear.
Yeah. Right.
Well, when you hear this now, you'll understand why people are undecided is because they're completely uninformed. Here we go.
Who was the first president of the United States?
Was it Bush?
George Washington.
Who was the second president?
I don't know.
Theodore Roosevelt.
No, babe. That was like 150 years later.
All I know is George Washington and Abraham Lincoln and Mr. Donald J. Trump.
And my pronouns are kiss my ass.
Name the three branches of government.
Oh my gosh. Judicial.
Hold on.
The president. We have Congress. And Kylie, what's the third?
Legislative, executive. I don't know the third one.
Do you want to put our heads together?
Yeah.
What do you got?
I don't got anything.
That didn't work.
How many Supreme Court justices do we have?
2.
11.
11.
21.
50. 46.
8? No. 9?
11.
No. Name some of the justices.
Genuinely, I don't know.
Judge
Mint.
Kamala Harris?
Amy.
Schumer.
Justice Brett.
Favre.
Bear. Brett Bear.
Not sure how to take that.
Who is the Speaker of the House?
Speaker of the House.
I don't know. Brain ain't thinking. I'm on the beach.
Anyone home?
No.
I think you're thinking of someone and you don't want to tell us.
I love her. She's great. She's very young. She's like the youngest
younger.
Speaker of the House, right?
I think you're talking about Caroline Leavitt.
Yes.
His last name is Johnson.
Magic Johnson. Magic Johnson.
That was somebody telling you something that wasn't true.
What is the name of the Secretary of State?
This state? Any state.
Joe Biden.
Ron DeSantis.
Marco Rubio.
Marco
Polo.
That's the one I wanted to end with. Marco Polo. Wow. So now you understand when we get near the end of an election and you say it's impossible. There's no way that people cannot make a decision like in the last election. How couldn't you decide between Trump and Biden? How could you possibly be undecided? There's your answer right there.
Yep. Yeah, well,
And the other ones we played this week.
they exactly 0 of them voted for Trump. I'm sure of that. They're not so much undecided as they are completely uninformed.
Yeah.
I mean, seriously.
I know. You hear it. You're
Not
just like,
first
wow.
graders. These are college students. Wow.
And I would have been able to answer any one of those questions in college. In high school, I would have been able to answer those questions.
I'm pretty sure we might be able to find some first graders.
Well, I'm sure the first graders probably would not have said Marco Polo.
Yeah, right. Are you smarter than a first grader? That's about par. Not the first time we've heard this kind of display.
No.
You know, we've witnessed this over the years, which is why you and I both support the continuing funding and growth of the Department of Education. Let's crank out as many idiots, ill-informed individuals as we possibly can.
All right, you ready for it?
All right.
All right. Here we go. Rock and roll rebellion. Nancy Wilson of Heart has come under fire for claiming it's more embarrassing ever to be an American.
All right.
The singer made the controversial claim, I'm reading here from the New York Post, during an interview with the Milwaukee Journal Sentinel earlier this month. But it finally started making waves on X on Monday.
All right.
We were kind of embarrassed at that time to call ourselves American because of the dirty politics of the Vietnam War, she said while discussing the band's hit song, Crazy on You. To be as subtle as possible, it's more embarrassing now. Wilson's remarks were not taken lightly, and both fans and critics slammed the wealthy singer for her contentious comments about the country. Says the millionaire who's made tons of dough playing music. One ex-user scoffed. I just can't deal with these people right now. She's welcome to find a more suitable country for her needs, another angry critic wrote. I'm willing to wager on the makeup of the country should she be a woman of her convictions. Stop playing 80s heart music, and it's not as embarrassing.
Oh.
It's embarrassing to be a Heart fan now. Others told her to leave. Then leave. Move.
Yeah.
So there you go. I have fun with this because it's really amazing the way rock and roll has gone. And I think it's interesting that, you know, she comes from the Vietnam era. You know, you think about it when feminism was out there and everything else. And think about this. She was not embarrassed with where the Democratic Party has gone. She's not embarrassed with the racism.
Yeah, that's all I can think
of
about
identity politics that has come back. She's not at all embarrassed by the Democratic Party and the misogyny of the radical transgender movement, the blatant hatred of women. Nancy Wilson is okay with.
Yeah.
You know, I remember when, you know, they've done interviews and they talked about the sexism in the record industry back then when they were women. I never cared. If it was good, I liked it.
Oh, yeah.
And when
it didn't matter.
Yeah, when Heart's first album came out, it was like, whoa, this is really good. Never thought about it.
Right.
And so when they were talking about the record industry, they were talking about a bunch of liberal misogynists.
Yeah. Yeah.
You know? Hey, man, women can't do rock and roll. Well, you're liberal on that one, right?
Right.
I never judged.
No.
I never judged when I was a kid growing up, never judged. To me, music was as natural with women as, you know, for women to do as it was men.
Oh,
never.
Sure. Yeah.
And a lot of that actually came when I was really young from the great Motown singers. And so, you know, I just chuckle with it that now rock and roll, whether it's Rage for the Machine, because that's what they are. Well, Rage for the Machine was always Rage for the Machine.
Well, I mean,
you cannot be a Marxist socialist and say you're about the individuality of the person.
You're pushing for big government. That you're basically promoting big government, and then people like John Mellencamp, who last year on stage basically told his own fans, "Hey, you kids, get out of my yard." I mean,
that was great.
I mean, he was just going after his own fans over Trump and over. But the thing is, if you think about his image, it was what? Midwest. Well, yeah, we know there's some liberals in the Midwest, but you've got a lot of conservatives also in the Midwest. And how do you not read the room? Well, you don't care. You're number one, too busy smoking 80 packs a day. And number two, that takes a lot of effort. There's a time consuming. I don't know how many trips to the convenience store that is. He probably has it delivered. But it's a lot to keep up with. And then, you're just going to go after your own fans. How about this? Hey, I have a song and I'm going to play it right now. And after that, probably another one. I'm going to do this thing where I pretend to go away for 15 minutes at the end. And then you just keep cheering my name. And then I force my band to come out here and do some more. It's not understanding and not appreciating what you have and how it was built.
No, and
I would say,
and it's really it's childish.
Because I would say, okay, then if we ever invent time travel, how about this? You have qualifiers for who can listen to your music and enjoy your music, which is stupid. But if they want to be stupid, let's just get into it.
Well,
then only liberals are going to show up to your show. Some will still have an audience. Others will lose at least half.
Well, again, it's childish emotion.
Mm-hmm.
There is no critical thinking skills at all running through these rock and rollers at all.
Right.
I'll never forget, it was the guy from, I can't remember his name, the lead singer of, the band from Vegas. The one that did Mr. Brightside. I just can't think of their name at the moment.
Yeah.
The Killers.
Oh, okay. All right.
And this goes back to like 2004, 2005.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
When you had Green Day out there, and he just said, I have no idea where they're coming from. I love being from America.
Yeah.
Brandon Flowers is his name.
Yeah.
I remembered it myself. Nobody told me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And I remember when he said that, I went, yeah, duh. I didn't agree with the Biden administration. I'm absolutely appalled with the racism of the Democratic Party. I can't believe that a major party is as radical as they have been, and that's why the American public has rejected them. What Nancy Wilson is saying is that she wants to be with 21% of the country that's so incredibly radical that they support the racism of the identity politics of the Democratic Party and the misogyny of the Democratic Party mainstream. Mm-hmm. She's part of that.
Mm-hmm.
And to be that way, to endorse that, you've got to be full of hate and anger and rage.
Yeah.
And why?
Yeah, I don't get it.
Where does that hate and rage and anger come from that you can support a narrative that says we judge people by a group that they're in and not as individuals, and you support the incredible hatred of women from the radical transgender movement?
Mm-hmm.
Because with that comes the threats and the intimidation and the bullying and the threats of harm towards women.
Mm-hmm.
And Nancy Wilson is okay with it.
Yeah.
Because they've always been Democrats.
Yeah.
And I'll throw the same thing with George Clooney, who's, I'm for the truth. The hell you are.
No, you're not.
You could care less about the truth. There's no recognition about what their party has become.
No, I mean, there isn't. And they don't, again, look, we want them to keep talking. We said that earlier. I want them to keep talking. It's important to know how people think, especially anybody who might have any influence. So that doesn't really include George Clooney. But others who do have influence, keep saying it. Keep talking. I don't get it, but that's how they think. And everybody needs to know how they think. It's exactly why there's this continuation of this awakening. Quite often, after an election, things kind of die down and the momentum kind of changes. And then certainly after Inauguration Day, it often changes. And it's like, oh, okay, we're back to the same. That's not what's going on here. The left is bat soup crazier than they've ever been. And Trump is fulfilling his agenda, his campaign promises. And they cannot stand to see him succeed and are just livid over the greatest political comeback in American history.
866-90 Red Eye.
This morning's USDA Farm Report is brought to you by House Products. Tested, trusted, guaranteed since 1920.
It's one part of relief assistance for farmers, the now dubbed USDA Emergency Commodity Assistance Program, now conducting sign-up for eligible growers through August 15th. Also part of the American Relief Act approved late last year, up to $20 billion in disaster relief payments for revenue loss or commodity damage associated with listed disasters. Farm Production and Conservation Deputy Undersecretary Brooke Appleton provides the update on this relief package.
We are in the process of getting that all together and rolling that out. There's about 4 different components to it. There are 2 different programs for livestock eligibility, one for wildfires and drought, and the other for flooding. And then there is a chunk of money that we will put towards doing block grants for states. And then the bulk of what is left will be that supplemental disaster program that we roll out.
With each component rolled out at different times based on program readiness. I'm Rod Bain reporting for the U.S. Department of Agriculture in Washington, D.C.
This report brought to you by Cenex Fuels and Lubes.
Coming up, more with Gary McNamara and Eric Harley. It's Red Eye Radio.
It's Red Eye Radio. He is Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Welcome and good morning. Thanks so much for being here. So I'm expecting more of it, but I hope more rockers come out against Trump and, pro-Democratic Party, because we can blast him. We can blast him because there is no rage against the machine. They're raging for the machine and for you to get in line like the Borg in the second Star Trek.
Here's the thing. With the overwhelming majority of them, again, we don't want them to shut up.
No,
it's not the point. But the overwhelming majority of them, play the oldies and you'll have revenue coming in as long as you can get up there and do it. You just play the oldies. You get up there, play the hits. Play the hits. Play the hits. This idea of, oh, I'm embarrassed to be an American. Venezuela's open. Actually, they're probably not, but go somewhere else. Go try that out. There's a reason you don't.
Well, if somebody says, we've heard this before, I'm embarrassed to be white.
Yeah.
What you're saying is you don't have your own autonomy. Somehow, you share the same values of somebody with a different skin, no matter whether you do or not.
Right.
Which is asinine.
You're listening to Red Eye Radio from the Uniden America Studios.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley, and I'm Gary McNamara. Okay, let's get through all the different stories out there we haven't gotten to. I saw this one. Governor Glenn Youngkin of Virginia had a bunch of protesters outside of Virginia Church, anti-Doge protesters.
Oh, okay.
And his response was, well, at least we got them to church. I thought that was great.
Somebody sent us and I think I saw it, but the Babylon Bee story. The Doge disguises the IRS building, and then they put the big Tesla logo on the IRS building.
Is that?
Oh, that's great. I love it.
The Babylon Bee is so funny. Let me look. Oh, there it is.
Isn't that great?
Yes.
Tesla. That's great. I love it.
Security concerns as Trump holds strategy meeting at Cracker Barrel. Oh, this is my favorite. Did you see all the cell phone data again from the rally?
Mm-hmm.
Was it in Denver?
Yeah.
The cell phone data, and it was basically 11,000, and they were able to trace those same cell phones back to people that had been in an average of 9 different.
Yeah.
And it was like, okay, they showed up, but these are all people that are cause heads.
Yeah.
Oh, you know something? The other day I sent a clip of it, the movie PCU from 1994.
Right.
I sent a clip to a buddy of mine. What's this?
He'd never seen it?
He'd never seen PCU. Oh, my gosh. That was 1994.
Oh, man, they should re-release that.
They really should. What's it? Jeremy Piven was interviewed on it here recently and said, you can't find it anywhere. You can't find DVD. The DVDs are really expensive, and nobody streams it. And I'm thinking to myself, if there's a movie that ought to be re-released, it's PCU. I mean, it's...
Yeah, who's the studio on that, I wonder? And I don't know why and is it because it's not in demand? You would think, is it not on streaming somewhere?
No, apparently not.
Not available on streaming.
Yeah, I checked the other day, and it wasn't there, and I'm just like, wow.
Yeah.
I mean, the when he walks through, he basically this kid comes to the campus to try to figure out if he wants to go there. What they call it, a pre-frosh or whatever. Mm-hmm. And so he comes in there, and Jeremy Piven is the guy who's really the head of his own. I don't know what you would call it. It's a co-ed dorm or a co-ed frat sorority, whatever. Because there's both, men. They all have their own rooms, but they're in the same place, and all they do is rock and roll and have fun. That's their goal in college. Is just to have fun, but they're dealing with, of course, I mean, it's a comedy. So, of course, you have the radicals, or the partiers, which Jeremy Piven is just perfect to lead that group.
Yeah.
And this kid comes in, to get the tour. And so he says, you got to learn, college has changed. It's called PC, political correctness. 1994. Yeah. And they go around, he goes, these are the cause heads. They have a different cause every week. And they're sitting there and there's, the screaming at them as they're walking through. Mm-hmm. And the one guy goes, free Nelson Mandela. And the other guy goes, he's free already.
Yeah.
I was like, oh,
already happened.
It was just, but.
It's only an hour and 19 minutes long.
Is it really?
Yep. 79 minutes.
I've got the DVD somewhere. I haven't watched it in years, but I had it because back then I was doing local talk radio and I took drops from it.
Yeah, right.
I took drops because it really it applied, and I've got it somewhere. But when was the last time I watched an actual DVD?
Yeah, right. Yeah.
Wow.
You go find a DVD player.
Well, right after I threw away my laser discs.
Right. David Spade is in it.
Oh yeah, David Spade's in. Oh yeah, and he's perfect, absolutely perfect. But this is one that the one on the Denver rally for the far left. Bernie Sanders in trouble as paid rally attendees vote to unionize.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, I love it. One. Oh,
better pay. These are horrible working conditions.
And then the one that I saw that I brought up at the beginning of the show because I was just going through headlines on Twitter and didn't see it was the Babylon Bee and went, no way, for like a millisecond. Then I looked and go, oh, it's Babylon Bee.
Yeah.
But Disney quietly cancels live action Pocahontas starring Dylan Mulvaney. After watching its latest feature, Snow White, suffer a disastrous opening weekend at the box office, executives at Disney have decided to cancel the live-action Pocahontas starring Dylan Mulvaney. Of course, none of that's true, but I actually thought, wow, are you kidding me? They put Dylan Mulvaney? Oh, it's Babylon Bee.
Yeah.
Never mind.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, Trump's yesterday, his cabinet outlined billions of dollars in contracts it says it has canceled since he took office, including a $300,000 contract educating on food justice for queer and transgender farmers in San Francisco, and $830 million on surveys described as looking like anyone's child in junior high school could have put together. The contracts, which Trump said represented fraud, are being canceled as Elon Musk and the Department of Government Efficiency are trying to eliminate wasteful spending by the federal government. Even at the U.S. Department of Agriculture, we canceled a $300,000 contract on food justice for queer and transgender farmers in San Francisco. A similar contract we canceled in New York, again educating transgender and queer farmers on food justice and food equality. I'm not even sure what that means, said Trump. But apparently the last administration wanted to put out taxpayer dollars towards that. We canceled a $600,000 contract out of Louisiana that was studying the menstrual cycles of transgender men. Wow. We canceled another contract out of a university in the middle of the country that focused on getting more diversity, equity, and inclusion into our pest management industry. Again, these are nonsensical and make no sense to use taxpayer dollars to fund these. These are just a few of them. Interior Secretary Doug Burgum told Trump there is a federal consulting group, which was a group inside of Interior, but it was managing contracts for many different agencies that flowed through here. And one of those contracts was to do surveys of individuals, $830 million for surveys. And so part of the question was, hey, could we actually see the surveys? And then the surveys came back, and the survey was like an 8.5 by 11 inch sheet of paper with 10 questions that anyone's child in junior high could have put together or AI could have done for free, Burgum said during the cabinet meeting. $830 million.
Wow.
So that is one that we stopped, and that contract was going out after you were inaugurated, sir. It's fraud, Trump responded. You know, it's interesting because Pam Bondi said, and Elon Musk said, we found fraud, and they said they're going to go after the fraud. That will be fascinating to see what happens. I will say this, conservatives are antsy. They hear all the talk, and they love the talk, but they're like, when are we going to actually do it?
Right. Yeah, you promote these things. If you put them out there, then you're going to have follow-up, and that means taking action. There's no way around it.
Now, they have time, and people are patient because it's only been 2 months.
It's only been 2 months.
I know.
Wow.
Oh, and then this week, can't forget this one. I can't believe we haven't brought this up yet. Biden and Jill offering their services to fundraise for the Democrats and be more of a part of the Democrats and helping them move forward.
We should start a GoFundMe to make that happen. To make sure that there's an incentive for them to go do that.
And I don't know how to put it, but the reaction from the Democrats was like, we're just not that into you anymore, Joe.
Yeah. Yeah.
It's been a fascinating last 7 days. We've said it a couple times, but it's worth saying again because it's really fascinating where the Democrats have gone. The leadership of the Democratic Party right now, the people that are speaking for the Democrats are, we all know, don't we?
Mm. Crazy?
Well, I mean, it's Bernie Sanders, right?
AOC,
Jasmine Crockett, and I'm sorry, but Rosie O'Donnell.
Yeah.
If you
George
look
Clooney is trying.
George Clooney just got in, but as I told you, it's like, 60 Minutes has to interview George Clooney on his new Broadway play.
Yeah. Yeah, this idea, by the way, that he kind of does the Newsom thing, where he works really hard at looking thoughtful.
Yes. I've said that for the longest time.
It's the eyebrows and the blinking and the
and the voice.
Yeah.
He's got good voice control.
Yeah.
But it's what is the substance that comes out of it? And when he was talking on 60 Minutes about, he finally had to speak up when he realized at the debate that Joe didn't have it, like you didn't know before.
Right.
Because I'm about the truth. My father was a news anchor. I'm about the truth.
It's two things. First of all, this idea that they didn't know about it, but also this virtue signaling that I'm going to be the hero that saves the party.
Yeah. I'm the one that saved the party. Yeah,
I spoke up.
You gave us Harris.
Yeah, exactly.
Sure did save the party.
Well, and to begin with, you gave us Biden. This is you're the reason he's here. You're the reason that you're having to be here, so he's not here. That gets confusing.
But and we all know what they were trying to do. 60 Minutes and Clooney, they're trying to relate, him playing Edward R. Murrow going up against, Eugene McCarthy. And that's exactly what's going on today with Trump. Trump's trying to destroy the media because the media before Trump just last year was about truth, justice, and the American way. All right, maybe I shouldn't start quoting the beginning of Superman.
No.
But that's what he's trying to sell.
No, that's it.
The media has been wonderful, and Trump's going to destroy the media. The censorship cartel that existed, the lies that you got from the media day in and day out.
Yeah.
And he's trying to sit there and he's trying to rewrite history is what he's trying to do.
No, he is.
Maybe he can open up for Hart on tour or something. I don't know.
Right. Come out and share his thoughts. That would be great.
And now opening for Hart, here's George Clooney with a political message.
Hello, Cleveland. Are you ready to rock? I was thinking about rocking just the other day.
By the way, I picture him saying that on stage alone.
Exactly.
With like the drum set behind him and everything else.
Everybody's asking, is this where we go get the beer?
866-90 Red Eye.
We'll be right back with more Red Eye Radio with Eric Harley and Gary McNamara.
It's Red Eye Radio. He's Eric Harley and I'm Gary McNamara. Well. Thinking of where we were 5 years ago right now, and we're sort of back to it. If you go back to March 25th of 2020, which was, remember, no one is supposed to wear a mask. All right?
Yeah.
This is back early on.
Right.
And so there I pick up the news from New York for today. New York State Legislature considering a ban on face masks and coverings in public to prevent criminal activity.
Exactly. They didn't know what you must wear a mask. You must wear, hey, would you quit wearing a mask? Yeah, it never ends on the left.
Now it'll be a crime if they pass it for wearing a mask.
Wow.
This is Red Eye Radio on Westwood One.